Hello, folks. This is Rick Enfinger here with Will You Endure, and I'm super glad you come to my channel. And if you've never seen me before or listened to me, I appreciate you. And all I ask you to do is subscribe to my channel. And if you like the content, give me a thumbs up. Um, what we're about here at Will You Endure is just answering that question: Will you endure life's challenges? And that is, honestly, we all have them. I mean, there's no use to sit around and say, "Oh, my life's perfect," because there's no such thing. Okay, everybody has a struggle. It may not, maybe it's not finances, maybe it's weight, maybe it's not finances or weight, maybe it's relationship. Okay, the fact of the matter is, we all struggle in one, form or another, and the fact is, we weren't really taught. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and harp on the education system. I'm not going to harp on what we were and weren't taught. I'm a public school guy. Maybe you can say that you were private schooled and you were in a better state of mind. Maybe you learned a lot more. I don't think so, because I've talked to several friends of mine that were private schooled, and in all honesty, they were all governed by the government just like we were in the public school. Okay, they basically set up the curriculum. They say what can be taught and what can't be taught. And the common denominator is you and I are just worker bees. And I don't know a better way to say it. I mean, is there a more politically correct? I'm sure, but I'm not that guy. Okay, we were basically intended to work, labor force. Okay, you are no better than that. Now, maybe you're a doctor, maybe you're a lawyer, and you're highly educated, but are you completely free? And you know what I mean. If you're a doctor or lawyer, are you still controlled? Do you understand taxes? Do you understand, liabilities and assets? Now, maybe you can say yes, and if you can, I appreciate you. Maybe just continue to watch. Maybe you'll catch something. Maybe you know more than I do, and maybe you should be making this video. Now, I don't think so, because you see, I've got friends too that are doctors and lawyers. I myself was a business owner, actually twice. Well, honestly, more than twice. I had two successful businesses, and I've had, I can't even tell you how many, countless not successful. Uh, you know, in my favor, I had one good successful, and then I would try other ones on the side, and they may have a little success here and there, but then but I always had my main one going. And then I sold it off, and I started another one, and it lucked up, and it turned out to be pretty good. So I did some other things on the side, and I have failed in businesses, okay? And I have failed in my life in the fact that I sold my last business and I thought that I had enough cash in the bank that I could literally, and this is a sad state of being, because I was there. I mean, I allowed myself to get there, but I actually thought I could skate through the rest of my life. But life always has a way to, I guess, re-educate you. And one day I got a knock on the door, not literally a knock, but a knock in my mind, and it was actually a phone call that I had a family emergency. And it was incredibly important, and it was incredibly expensive. And let me just say, some of the people in my family weren't as blessed as I was financially, and they didn't have the means. Well, they were my family, so what was I supposed to do? So I did what I think hopefully most of you would do. I paid for it, and I gave up a lot of cash reserves. Matter of fact, I gave up enough cash reserves that it basically made me start thinking, maybe maybe I need to get back into what I was doing. And at the same time, I had a friend of mine who had we're about roughly the same age. I'm 51 years old, and I think he's 49 or 50. So we're pretty close. Anyway, we're always tight. And he and I were the same, so far as always trying stuff on the side. We both got into the eBay thing on the side. We both got, buying and selling cars and trucks and boats and, and stuff on the side. And at one time, he and I flipped houses together. Um, so, we were pretty adventurous, pretty entrepreneurial, and that kind of thing. And he, anyway, at about the right time, I guess you could say it was the right time because it was the time when I was actually starting to rethink, you know, skating through life. And I am so thankful for him, not for the phone call of teaching me a different way to make money, but teaching me a different way to think. Period. Because, like I said, I had allowed myself to get into the thought pattern, and this is kind of, I learned this. I mean, it wasn't something that just popped in my mind, but I had thought, well, I'll just get by. I'll skate through. Or there's a lot of lines out there, or I'll do just what's necessary. I mean, maybe you've heard these. So, if you have a job, I'm sure you've heard these. Or if you're an employer, if you're a person who has people that work for you, I'm sure you've heard this. Okay, I'll do enough to get by to keep the management happy, or I do enough to get by to get my paycheck, or I may work a little extra just to make them happy. Whatever the saying is, but we weren't. That's not the way we were designed. Okay. Now this is not going to be a religious talk. Sometimes I may bend that way on some videos, and if it offends you, listen. I'm not a person that gets real touchy about offending somebody, but I'm not trying to. Okay, I do want you to understand that's not my goal in life. I'm not trying to offend you. So there's no use for you to waste your time in the comments below putting all kinds of crap in there. Okay. Now I invite you to comment below. Let me know what you think about the video, what you think about life, maybe some lessons you got, or things you do, to fix yourself or whatever, or to maybe educate yourself. I invite all that stuff. But if you're going to be a negative, like a naysayer or a, just for lack of a better term, and I don't like to cuss, but I mean, if you're just going to be an asshole, move on. Okay. No, you know what? I stop right there. I don't mean that. I don't mean move on. Just hush for a little while and listen. Maybe this video will get you. Maybe it'll educate you a little bit, and maybe you'll start seeing the world as it is. Okay. Now, I don't profess to be the smartest person in the world, and when it comes to online, I definitely don't. I mean, I was not the well-skilled online guy. But anyway, my friend told me, he said, man, you need to look into online stuff. He said, have you ever done anything? And I said, I did a website way back in the day, and it worked out pretty good, but no big deal. He said, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you need to look into the internet on how to make money online. And that's what he mean. He said, well, he said, you've always been, a go-getter. He said, it's going to require some work. Okay. So remember this. Remember, I'm telling you this. This is going to require some work if you're looking to make money online. And I hope you are, because I will tell you it's worth it. But it is going to require work. And he told me that. And he said, and man, you just got to, learn a few things. Nothing big, but there are a few things you're going to have to learn. And he goes, and they may even be a little aggravating sometimes. He said, but dude, he said, you're smart. He said, you can do this. And I said, man, I ain't that smart. He said, man, you are. He said, and you got what most people don't have. And here's a note. Here's a note for you. Write this down. You have tenacity by the boatloads. That was my, what do you call it? My one God given gift. A lot of people go through life and they're always thinking, what is my gift? What is my talent? And I did through life. You know, I've never been the prettiest. I've never been the strongest. I've never been the fastest. I've never been the best at anything. But the one thing I was given was tenacity. And if you don't know what that means, look it up. I don't know that I know how to spell it, but I do know what it means. Okay. It means a desire that never quits. It means once you set your mind on something, nothing can stop you. Now, let me tell you this. One of the prerequisites for this is, for me, I needed to find somebody that had done it. Well, I started listening to my friend. And I said, well, tell me what you're doing. He said, well, man, you're going to have to get on there and just look around. He said, there's tons of opportunities online. And there are. He goes, and listen, he said, maybe you'll identify the one I'm doing, maybe you won't. And I'm telling you people the same thing. Maybe you will identify with what I'm doing, and maybe you won't. That don't mean to stop looking. Tenacity is also in the looking of for the opportunity. Okay, be tenacious. Okay, once you find it, be tenacious at figuring it out. Be tenacious at going after it. Be tenacious in life, and don't just do what you need to do to get by. Do what you can for your abilities, and keep expanding. So that was a rant, and I even said I wasn't going to do that. But anyway, that was kind of my rant. So let's get started with the video. And I've been working on trying to come up with one of these intros. You know, you see these guys, they'll start a little clip, and then they'll do like a beach scene, walking on the beach or whatever. You know, I'm trying to do one right now. I've got to learn how to edit first, and that's another task. And I will learn it. I mean, I can guarantee you, I will learn it, and I will come up with a great beginning. I think my first one's going to be me on my fishing boat, fishing, because I love to fish. You know, fishing for me is my freedom. Okay. Now I don't do it like I used to. Hence, I've got a new business going on. I tell you what I did is I went and found me a job, and that's tough for me. What that means is I had to let another man tell me what to do for a while. And I even explained to him, I was real up front. I said, listen, I'm gonna work for you, and I'll work hard for you. There'll be nobody that can outwork me, and I'm not here to try to prove anything. But I'll give you your day's worth on on what you pay me. Okay, I'll listen to you. I may grump a little bit. Okay, but I'll do what you ask me to do, and I'll be here till I tell you I'm not. I will give you notice. You know, I will do it in a respectable way. But I said I'm also doing something else online. You know, part time. Won't ever conflict with with my job. But I said once I get to a point to where I have replaced my income, okay, and I have set myself up financially a few little small ways, and that's just basically just putting a few little buffers in on the system. And I said once I do that, I said, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I said I'm gonna be free. I'll be free for life. And he, of course, I mean, just typically like the average person, yeah, whatever. You just do your job. And I'm like, okay, all right. As long as we understand each other, we're good to go. So I went and got a job, and I do this outside of my job, okay? Um, and I can't always say it's easy. There again, it's not backbreaking work. Back in the day when I was a kid, I used to, for summers, I used to, lift hay. Basically you follow a hay baler, and you grab these 50 or 60-pound hay bales, and you throw them up on the trailer. Well, that doesn't sound too bad in the beginning because the trailer is only, I don't know, maybe chest high, maybe about shoulder high as it goes. But the fact of the matter is, they're stacking the bales up. So as you keep walking in the heat, grabbing 50-pound, 60-pound bale every second or not a second, every few seconds you're grabbing one. Now all of a sudden you've got one layer already stacked on the trailer. So guess who has to throw it up over it? Then you've got two layers. Guess who has to be the one throwing it up over it? By the time you get to a few empty, rows that you've emptied because you're stacking, you could be 3 to 4 bales high. Guess what? You still got to get them up there. So I'm not talking about that kind of back-breaking hard work. The hard work I'm talking about is being diligent, okay? Sticking with it. If you don't understand it, go back and learn it, and I'm going to teach you a few things tonight about how to learn the way we were never taught. Not just what we weren't taught, but how to actually learn something. And it has been an eye-opener for me. So let's get started, and hopefully I won't get into a big rant, and hopefully you're still with me. And like I said, if you've never subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up, because I'm assuring you this is going to be an eye-opener for you, okay? Start making money on, and also I'm going to let you know, I use Google Docs to kind of script my videos. And it's really not for a perfect script. It's honestly just to keep me straight with what I'm doing. I'm not a perfect video person, okay? By no means. I'm not what do they call them, YouTuber, okay? I'm hoping to become a great one, But at this point in time, I'm working on it. Okay, that's another skill level that I'm boosting every day. So bear with me. Okay, start making money online versus stick with the traditional way to earn income like we were taught. Again, I was public school taught. Okay, remember what we were taught: trade time for money. Surely you understand that. Okay, that's a job. Okay, that's what we were taught. Now you're probably thinking, well, you didn't do that. You went and got a business. Well, that was a choice. Okay, that was a choice I made. If you're watching this video and you're in a job, you've made a different choice. All right. What it was is when I got out of the military, I didn't have a whole lot of skills. You know, I learned how to carry a gun, and I learned how to shoot people, and I learned how to wear camouflage pretty cool. I mean, because I kept my stuff really iron and pressed real good. I mean, back in them days, I was young and I was hard and I was, I looked good, I felt good. That was back in those days, and life just seemed to be a great way to go. But one thing I discovered was I didn't like the income because when I got out, I was offered a job digging a ditch, not literally. I was actually offered a job with my uncle doing construction, or I could go be a cop. And I'm not knocking on cops. If you're a cop, listen, I praise you guys. I'm not the guys against the guys in blue. I'm not him. Okay. I'm just saying your wages aren't super high, and hopefully you'll understand what I mean. Okay. So I chose the construction, but it didn't take too long for me to understand. My uncle, who was my employer, and who stayed on me hard. Understand I was a relative, so he felt the need, I guess, or maybe it was just a want, I don't know, to basically stay on my ass. Okay. And I mean on it hard. Never would give me a break. If I was leaning on something, taking a breather, he'd get on me in front of everybody, which really, honestly, pissed me off. Okay. But I knew I needed the money. Okay. So it didn't take long to realize, he was always clean. He was always in a new truck. And I realized, there's different ways to make money. So in other words, it didn't take me too long to understand this. So I asked him, I said, listen, I want to know what you do. And he said, oh, you can't do what I do. Well, how do you know I can't? He said, well, he said, it takes years. And I said, well, what do you do? He said, oh, man, I have to deal with the customers. And I said, okay. So he said, well, man, you have to, you're going to have to learn a lot of, terminology. You're going to have to learn how to sell. You got to learn how to follow up. He said, it's just, learning business. He said, you can't do it. I said, well, why can't I? He said, I'm just telling you, you got to have years. And I said, I don't have time for years, man. I don't have time. I want life right now. And he said, well, I mean, I'll teach you a little bit. He said, but you're going to have to continue to work. And I go, how am I going to do that? And he said, well, every day after lunch, he said, after you work a couple hours after lunch, I'll grab you and you can hop in the truck and you can just ride around with me. He said, because, most of my work, he said, you may not see it now. He said, I'm managing jobs. He said, but most of my real work is done latter part of the afternoon or evening when people are getting home and I'm trying to sell them a job. He was home remodeler. And I said, okay, no problem. So now, coincidentally, he would make me go home and take a shower, which I'm kind of glad he did because I was going to people's houses, and I was nasty and sweaty and stinky and all that. Anyway, long story short, to answer your question, I did the routine of the job, but it just didn't take me long to realize there's more to life. Okay, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about. But if you're at a job, I'm not knocking you either. Okay, I'm not trying to offend you and say you're ignorant or you're stupid. This is just what we were taught. Trade time for money. Now, that begs the question. Well, what's your time worth for, and how much money are they willing to give you? See, that's what you accept. Understand these points. What you accept for your time is what they're going to pay you. That's it. Okay? There's a concept there. What you accept for your time is exactly what they're going to pay you. They're not going to pay you more. They're not going to jump up and say, "Oh, by the way, let me give you some extra." I mean, do they ever tell you that? Maybe they give you a Christmas bonus because they want you to feel good about production, and they want you to come back. They want you, they want you over the Christmas holiday or New Year's Eve holiday. They don't want you to, change jobs. They don't want to retrain nobody. Okay, so what's your time worth? And remember this one. This is the one I got from my parents, and I'm not knocking my parents. I've got a great set of parents. I mean, if you didn't have, I apologize for that because you're gonna, it's just one more thing you have to overcome, and that's the question: will you endure? Okay, I had a great set of parents, and what they taught me was what they were taught, so they just didn't know. But they always told me you got to try to save 30% of what you earn. And I thought, damn, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of my play money, because honestly, I tell you one of the things that just really pissed me off was how much taxes I paid. Okay, back then I was thinking, you got to understand. I mean, I'm wanting to buy me a new truck. I want to have my own house. Okay, not a little apartment. I had that. I wanted a house. I wanted my own truck, and of course, I wanted my own boat. I didn't want no old used boat. Hell, I had one of them. I bought one of them. It wasn't but like $600. I wanted me a new bass boat. And back in them days, I mean, nowadays they're like 80 or 90,000. Back in them days, they were like 30. But that was another payment because of course I didn't have $30,000. Okay, that there's another question. Why didn't I? Why wasn't I taught to shoot for that? Anyway, just a question. Okay, so remember to save at least 30% of what you earn. This is just what we were taught. Have a 401k, and then here's the big word: trust them. Who is them and they? You always, you hear the terms, trust them or trust, or they said. Always wondering who they were. Well, I've come to the conclusion, and I'm just going to let you come to your own conclusions. Trust them. Have a 401k. Them is the ones that were basically investing in my 401k. Did I know what they were doing? No, I wasn't taught that in school. I had no damn clue. You know, they were looking at, high risk, low risk, medium risk. They were looking at bonds, stocks, um, and mutual funds. They were looking. I don't know all that shit. I mean, nobody taught me that. Did I think I couldn't learn it? No. But the fact of the matter is, I'd already went through 12 years of school. Maybe some of y'all went through 16 or 20 years of school. Did you ever get taught that stuff? Did you ever get taught about assets and liabilities and how important they are? How absolutely critical that whole thought pattern is, even in life? No, I never heard that shit. I never had a teacher tell me, always, make sure you have way more assets than you do liabilities. Make sure you know how to measure them together, and make sure you know the statistics and blah, this, that, and the other thing. No, let me tell you what I had. I had a damn scientist tell me, here's what you're going to need to do today. Dip your hand in a bucket, pull out a dead freaking frog, and cut it open. And I thought, why? I mean, I eat frog legs, so it's not like I was offended. Now, some of the girls in class were, and I'm sure, I don't remember exactly, but I'm sure I taunted them with a damn dead frog, hoping that they would like me because of it. That was more of my fine learning on how to get a relationship, right? But I cut open a frog, and why? Why did I? That begs, there's a question right there. If anybody can answer me why I cut that dad-burned frog open, leave it in the comments below. Because I still haven't figured it out. My thinking is this. Maybe they were trying to say that me and the frog were biologically alike. No, we're not. No, hell, we're not. I don't look like the frog. I mean, listen, I know I'm not a good-looking guy, but I don't look like no damn frog. Okay? I ain't never been skinny like a frog, and some frogs are fat, so maybe I was a fat frog. But I don't look like a frog. I don't feel like a frog. I don't jump like a frog. I walk, on my bare feet, my back 2 feet. They don't walk. They hop. Anyways, it's a silly damn thing, but that's what I was taught in school. I wasn't taught about liabilities and assets. Okay. All right. Here's another one. Work 40 maybe 50, and maybe even 60 hours a week. But look at all that overtime. Oh, don't worry about the taxes. You're making more money. Who cares? Now, see, here's another question. What about my time? What about my time? What about the time that I'm supposed to spend this money where I can enjoy life? What happened to that? No, all I had to look forward to was next week, do it again. Basically living paycheck to paycheck. Okay? Because I didn't understand assets and liabilities. So, what I did understand was, this next one. If you want it, just ask for the payment plan. So I went and bought my new truck. Okay? And it was a pretty bitch. It was a pretty truck. It was blue. And it was beautiful. And I went and bought my boat. And the boat was, of course you have to have a matching boat. I mean, you can't be a true, uptown redneck as I was and not have a matching truck and boat. I asked for the payment for that too. So now I had a payment. So I had to go back to work on Monday, pay for these things. Did they teach me that? No, they didn't. They did teach me to be a good employee though. So I was being a good employee. Okay. Here's another one for you. Work 30, maybe 40, or don't worry about it. It might take at least 50 years and retire. And hopefully, you saved enough, and hopefully the 401k guys were trustworthy enough that you've got enough you can retire and live a decent life. What does that mean? What does a decent life mean? I don't know. Look at a lot of the older people. I know a lot of the people that like my relatives. Um, they don't live a decent life. A lot of them are still working, and that's sad to me. Not just because they're my relatives. It doesn't matter if they're your relatives. That's sad to me. Okay, to go into your high 60s, your low 70s, even your 80s, and still be working. But don't worry. Listen, Walmart will always hire greeters. They'll always need greeters. All right. I ain't gonna be no damn Walmart greeter. It doesn't make no difference to me what it's gonna take. I'm not gonna be a Walmart greeter. So you're not gonna see me at the door going, "Hey, welcome. Appreciate you coming on in." No, that ain't gonna be me. Maybe you will accept that life, not me. Okay. And here's the one. Here's the one I love the most. See, I was a patriotic son of a gun. I went in the military and I was proud to wear that flag on my shoulder. I was proud to wear that camouflage. I was proud to tote that gun. And if you were on the other side, I was proud to shoot you. Just being truthful, okay? Because I thought you were against everything that I stood for. And don't get me wrong, there is a lot of bad in the world, and I am grateful for the fact that we, stand up against a lot of the bad stuff in this world, okay? But one of the bad things in this world is what we teach in public schools or private schools, or what we don't allow to be taught. Do enough to get by. Live the American dream. I mean, think about that. I mean, get you a house. Of course, it's going to have a payment. Get you a couple cars. I think they say the average household has 2.4 cars or 2.5. I don't know how the hell you have like 2.4 or 2.5 cars. Like, how do you have a half a car? 2.5 cars. Anyway, it's another statistic. And Lord knows you have to live by statistics. Okay. You have 2.2 kids. I'm not sure how you can do a 0.2 kid. Okay. There's another statistic. And, of course, you got to put away money for their college and stuff. Because, colleges are getting, I know, they're getting cheaper every year, right? No, they're not. I just had a buddy of mine just got his second child out of college, and he told me, he said, "Rick, I'm gonna be honest with you." He said, "With housing, books, and all the expenses," he said, and this guy's a stickler for money. By the way, he's a business owner also. He told me, he said, "I have spent well over $250,000 on these two girls to get educated," and he goes, "And I can honestly say, I don't know if it was worth it." He said, "Compared to the jobs that they have, I'm not sure." He said, "I hope that life is good for them, and I'm not regretful that I invested in my children. I just don't know if I invested the right way, and I don't want to live like that. I am not going to live like that. I'm not going to do something $250,000 in and then have a regret. Well, let me wipe my glasses off. I have to have them, or I can't see. Well, I was going to say I can't see you. Well, I can't see you anyway, but I can't see the dead burn screen. Okay. So now that I have enlightened you and give you all this great news, let's go to the other side. Start making money online. Okay. Start to understand how the internet works. Do you think you do? I didn't. Okay. And like I said, I had played on it before. I'd had a website. Maybe I'd had two actually. I think I had two websites. I had a business one time. I sold enclosed car trailers, like race car trailers. I was into drag racing, so I was able to buy and sell my trailers, pretty quick, and I was able to get rid of them because I was always at the drag strip and I was always bragging on them. And I thought, I need to get me a dealership, which I did. And did pretty successful, and I got me a website, and it was able to move product through that website. The next business I tried on the side, I did a screen printing business, and I loved that. Never was sure exactly why I quit doing that, but anyway, I enjoyed the creativity part. And I'm not that guy. I'm not like an artistic dude or a creative dude. I'm not him. But man, I did enjoy that. And I guess that's all. It all comes down to nowadays I'm learning a whole new game about how to think about life, how to look at life differently. And I guess that was my creative parts back then trying to come out. Now they're completely out. So anyway, start to understand how the internet works. Understand the power of the internet and how it basically expands your not only your reach but expands your life, it expands your knowledge, it expands the world. Okay. And do I think I had somebody tell me the other day, you have to be careful because the internet might overpower God. that's that's actually just that's crazy. I mean, for the guy or girl that wrote that, I don't remember which one, if he was a guy or girl. And nowadays, hell, it may not even matter what you are. I mean, everybody's switching. But I mean, that's just a stupid statement. You're not going to overpower God with the internet. Okay, and, I'm a believer, and I'm not trying to get you to be a believer, but I will tell you this: if you have that thought pattern, hell, I don't even know what to say to you. Anyway, we're just going to go on. Start to understand how the internet works. Okay. Start reading books on how to improve yourself and your finances. And listen, don't be surprised by what they didn't teach you. You're going to be blown away. Okay. When I mean blown away, I mean completely blown away. All right. Because it's been in print. Some of these books that I'm reading right now, they've been in print for hundreds of years. And I'm thinking, damn, I never knew that. I never even heard about the book. Why didn't I know this back in the day? I'm sure there was a reason, and I don't know what it is, but I didn't know. Okay? Begin to learn a few skills online. Okay? Now, here's where I'm going to give you a little tip. You might want to write this down. Don't try to learn a ton at one time. Learn in small bits. And once you learn something, then you do it. Then you go back and learn it again. Then you do it again. And you repeat that over and over and over until it ingrains itself into your mind. Here's one of those mind things you're going to learn. I think it's 0 to 6 or maybe 0 to 7 years old. You bring in so much information for a child, and it's because there's a different state in your mind. And I'm not going to try to get into a whole lot of detail here because I'll screw it up. But you need to look into that subject too. And you're never going to be in that state again as an adult ever. It's almost like they say it's almost like similar to like a hypnotic state. Okay, and it's like I said, I could screw this up real bad if I ain't careful. But you can take in and retain so much in those years. The only way to do that as an adult is you have to do stuff. You have to be repetitive. You know, it's like now when I read a book, and I read a lot. I don't just read the book. And I had a guy actually. I had one of the the system that I'm involved in, you have coaches in it. And the guy asked me the other day, he said, "Did you read the book I recommended?" I said, "Yeah, I read it." So I finished it on Sunday. This is like Tuesday or Wednesday. He said, "Okay, read it again." I said, "Do what?" He said, "Read it again." I said, "What? I just finished it." He said, "Yeah, I know. Read it again." I said, "That's crazy." He said, "Listen, let me give you a principle. When you read it again," he said, "truly read it again. Don't just skim through it because you think you know it. Read it again like it was your first time." And he said, I'm gonna shock you." I said, "How you gonna shock me?" He said, "You're gonna learn stuff you're gonna think that was never even in the book the first time." And I'll be dad burn if he ain't right. He was exactly right. So you repeat it over and over. You learn in small bits, you do it, and then you repeat it over and over and over and over. That's how you redo that 0 to 6 or 0 to 7 years old as an adult. Otherwise, you don't have a chance. You don't have a chance. What you took into those vital years, you will live out the rest of your life. That's it. You will live that out the rest of your life. Okay. Now learn about traffic, online traffic. I don't mean traffic, in a big city or traffic on your back roads. I'm talking about traffic online. It's very vital. Okay. You remember back in the day, you know, everybody was always telling you, you need to get you a brick and mortar store like a McDonald's, because that was always one of the highest rated businesses you could try to get into. Of course, nowadays it's well over $1 million to get into one. However, still rated high because it's a system. You understand? It's a proven system. All right, but you always wanted it on a high traffic road, so it gave you constant amount of customers. Hope you understand that. Okay, maybe here's a catchy thing. McDonald's don't serve the best hamburgers, but they do have one of the best systems there is, and you always are guaranteed what you're going to get. Okay, so it's vital that you learn internet traffic and learn how to scale. All right, learn how to set up a funnel, and I don't mean a funnel to pour the dad burn oil into your car or to pour fuel in it. I got stranded on the side of the road one time because I literally living paycheck to paycheck and ran out of freaking fuel. Um, no, let me tell you the whole truth. The whole truth was back in those days, I used to be into old cars, loved old vehicles, and I had an older truck. It was a '69. Remember, I had a '65 and a '69. I don't remember which one of them stranded me, but I think it was my '69. Anyway, um, I got stranded. Of course, it was '69. It didn't have a working gas gauge. What I had to do, every second or third day, I had to fill up. That particular second or third day, I didn't, and I thought, I'm sure I've got plenty of fuel in there. I always had plenty of fuel. Well, I didn't. So, it begs to reason. Was I only just getting by on that particular day because that's really what I all had learned when I was young? Just get by. I mean, anyway, we'll move on from that. How to set up a funnel? A funnel is something. It's a vital tool that you're going to need to learn how to do online if you want to generate income. And hopefully, if you're still watching this, that's the only reason you're watching this because you want to learn how to generate income. All right. And if you'll stay through the rest of this video, I'm gonna give you a tip and a trick at the end of this. All right. Learn the basic tools necessary. You're probably thinking, okay, what are they? Well, I'll put a link below this video. The first one is an autoresponder. Now, if you don't know anything about online, you're not going to have a freaking clue what that means because I didn't. Maybe you do. I don't know. I didn't have an idea in the world what that was. And the next one is an opt-in page builder. You're probably thinking, what in the frick is that? Now, both of these are super simple. So don't allow your mind to go to a place of just because you don't understand it automatically means that they're hard. They're not. Overcome your mind. Overcome the objections that you're getting in your mind from that whatever that voice is. See, I had to name my voice. I had a buddy of mine in high school that he and I were always good friends, but we were always fighting. And I think it was an alpha thing Both of us. Both of us were real strong. Both of us were real fast. Both of us loved to fight, and we were always testing each other. And I don't mean just wrestling. I mean all out fighting. And when we would bloody each other up, and then next thing you know, we'd be going over to each other's house. My mom always said, "Gosh, I hate when Dave's coming over because he eats all my Oreos because he was an Oreo eating freak." But he was my buddy. I loved him to death. But he was always. I don't know why I just told you that. I just kind of lost my train of thought. Um, he was always testing me. Why did I tell you that? Learn the basic tools necessary. Huh. Anyway, autoresponder and Opt-in page builder. Okay, they're the two necessary tools. Are there some more? Yeah, there's a few more, but you don't need to know them in the beginning. Okay, you just need to know those two. All right. Learn how to execute at your top level. Do you even know your true potential, or have you always just been getting by? That's what we were taught. Do enough to get by. Do enough to make your paycheck. Do enough to pay your bills. Live the American dream. Do you even know your true potential? Well, see, I do. I have finally, at 51 years old, I know mine because I'm pushing it on a daily basis. Okay? This video alone proves that. Okay? It proves it. I don't care if I prove it to you, but I'm proving it to myself because I'm still not good at it. But I'm doing it on a daily basis. That's why I say subscribe to my channel and you'll watch somebody grow into a great YouTuber. I don't know if that's something to watch, but it's going to be an incredible journey. Okay? And I will learn. And I will continue to learn. And I will continue to better myself on a daily basis. I hope you will too. Now, for what I promised you. Below this video, if any of those things on the right hand column over here interest you, and you would like to learn them, and you're kind of like me, you're kind of, I don't know, impatient, because this is what they call a microwave world. You want it now, and I understand that because listen, I'm there. Okay, you need to try to adopt a long term mind frame in life. But if you want to learn this stuff and you want to learn it quickly, I didn't say overnight. I make no income guarantees. You might not be able to do this. Okay, I don't know, because it's a mind thing more than anything.